Hi, my name is Alison and you are with Healing Dove Tarot. Today we're going to have a look at the love energy surrounding the sign of Aries from the 16th of May to the 1st of June. I have decided to change up the love readings so that I'm doing them once a fortnight now rather than once a month. And the reason for that is that I just had a lot of inquiries about love lately and the energies are really strong. And so I thought that it would be nice if we could have a fortnightly update. So if you appreciate that, please let me know in the comments below. Before we get started, I just wanted to make a quick mention. There's a lot of things happening astrologically, and I will mention that in the new moon reading. But in particular with love, I think it's always important to remember that there's many lessons when it comes to love. Even when someone has wronged you, thank them. Now I know that sounds counterintuitive, especially when you're coming from a place of frustration or hurt or betrayal, but thank them, because every lesson is something that brings us closer to healing ourselves and brings us closer to that unconditional love that we all desire. And when we thank someone, we actually stop the flow of negativity, especially in love. So we're breaking that cycle. Rather than absorbing it, becoming this victim mentality and pulling it all on us, when we actually thank them for that, we take the courage upon ourselves to break that cycle and put back positivity. It's almost like as if you're protecting your self-worth, right? And when you thank them, it's not that you are forgetting what they've done or how they've hurt you. Certainly not. That's about boundaries. But what it is about accepting with a level head, knowing that the reason why someone has wronged you, or the reason why you've been betrayed, or the reason why whatever it is that's happened that's hurt you, is because it's coming from a place of fear. And when you meet fear with love, love wins. Okay? So by all means, as I said, I'm not saying that you accept anything that's less than your self-worth. Create your boundaries. But when you release negativity with love, guess what comes back to you? More love. When you hold on to negativity, whether that be in form of judgment or when someone has wronged you, then guess what you get back? More negativity. So a bit of a message there for you. Meet any kind of lesson in love, good or bad, with gratitude, with appreciation. And when you do, you're going to bring more love into your life. All right, Aries, but let's have a look at the energy surrounding you for the period of the 16th of May to the 1st of June. 2018. My Aries friends, let's have a look at the energies around you. Thank you, universe. Thank you, guides. Please show me a clear and accurate reading for the sign of Aries for the next 2 weeks from the 16th. So, Aries, I recently did a reading for you around the full moon. And it was a bit of controversy because in that title of the reading, I said a past love returns. And for those of you that are regular subscribers to my channel, thank you so much. You will know that the message of that, I was really trying to focus on yourself. I did answer some comments in that section about this past love returning. And if you are curious, go and watch the video. It's quite a good one. But guess what, Aries? That past love is still coming back and it's clear in this reading. So because this is a love reading, I'll go more into detail about who that past love is and how it's going to play out for you. But I definitely see a past love coming back, and for some of you, a very strong reconciliation. But before we get started, Aries, at the bottom of the deck, your overarching energy to coming into this period is the Five of Swords. Okay? So the Five of Swords talks about defeat. This guy's gone to battle, right? He's literally like the soldier. He is exhausted. He's kind of sitting there defeated. He's sitting on the ground. He's got all of his swords around him. He's looking a bit sullen. And the energy of this card is, I wouldn't say dark. It's just grey, right? It's gloomy. It's grey. And I don't know if you can see it, if it's clear enough in the camera, but you can see that there's like a person walking away. So this can mean a number of things for me when it comes to your reading, Aries. First of all, it could mean that you're finally, you're being defeated in a relationship when it comes to love. You're finally kind of at your wit's end and you're just kind of like, I've had enough, I'm walking away. And there is that energy of walking away here in your reading. Or it could mean that you're just exhausted from an argument or from arguing. It's something that's gone on where you're you don't have the energy to argue anymore, okay? Swords are all about thoughts. So this is really a mental energy for me. If it was wands, you know, fire, passion, and you do have a fair bit of fire here, I would say it's actually physically argument, but this is kind of like, it's a mental thing, okay? So it's either a mental energy that you're holding on to, or it's a mental energy that you're coming out of, because it is what is the overarching energy for you in this period, and it changes very quickly, okay, Aries? And the reason why I say that is because it's coupled with the Ten of Wands in the reverse and the card of Judgment. So I'll talk to the Ten of Wands first. The Ten of Wands in the upright in traditional tarot shows a guy who's walking along, he's got all these wands on his back, he's like carrying all these burdens, right? It's a card of burden. It's like literally going, I cannot take one more thing. Like I cannot have the dishwasher that's blown up, I cannot have this fight with my partner, I cannot deal with the fact that I owe money for that fine, that parking fine. It's like all these things that add up. But typically when it comes to love, it's like tens are the completion of a cycle, right? And because we're just literally coming out of a new moon energy, this for me, especially in the reverse, is showing me that and with the Five of Swords, you've come out of this mentality. And if I do remember correctly, in your full moon reading, I was talking a lot about walking away from something that wasn't healthy for you. Okay, Aries, it's like actually recognizing your worth, setting your boundaries, and making the conscious decision to go, this isn't good enough for me and I'm actually worth more. So this is a repeat of that message, Aries. It's coming through again. And it is showing me that you're over the mental anguish that it's caused you. You're over carrying the burden and you're ready to move on. And I say that because underneath it is the Eight of Cups. Now, cups represent emotions. It's all about things that are fluid, watery. It talks to how we connect with people. But more importantly, and again, carrying on that message from the full moon, it also talks about your sense of self-worth. So it's kind of like if you have been wronged by someone and it was a toxic relationship, you've had enough and you've stood up for yourself and you've walked away. Okay. But it's not over yet, because as I said, I do see that someone from the past, a past love, is returning. Repeating that again because it'll be a similar title for this reading. And the reason why I say that is because you have the card of Judgment. Okay, and Judgment is all about seeing things clearly. It can represent the sign of Libra. So a Libra could be important here for some of you. It could be a water sign or a fire sign, but the most prominent one, if I was to pinpoint one, would be a Libran. But it could just literally mean that you actually wanting to balance the scales, okay? It seems to me that things have been very unfairly, and I'm feeling like that's in your favor. Someone's, as I said at the beginning of the video, mistreated you or done you wrong, but you've kind of also allowed that to happen, Aries. And I think now you finally stood up for yourself. You finally said, I'm not going to take that anymore. I'm walking away. That's not the kind of behavior that I want. And in doing that, whoever it was, this past love, whoever it was that you're involved with, is seeing you in a different light. They're kind of reaching the end of the cycle too, and they're exhausted, and they're also wanting to change things up. Now, this can pertain many ways. This could actually be in your current relationship, and it could be as something, you could be in a happy relationship, but I think I mentioned last time about projecting things, fear-based things that could be going wrong. Or it could actually pertain to someone who's actually broken up because it was a bit toxic, and the person that you've broken up with has now had a bit of space and they're actually wanting to come back. Okay, and I say this because the Judgment is coupled with the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is, again, more of that mental energy. It's like you literally go from the 5 to the 10. So someone has massive anxiety, they're not sleeping well, they're really not happy with this decision. And I think that is that decision of you walking away. Now, the energy could be the other way around. It could be someone's walked away from you and you're not happy about it and you're in your head. but it's showing me you've gone from a 5 to a 10 very quickly, Aries, or you're going to go from a 5 to a 10 in this 2-week period. You have 2 10s here. And, you know, it's just like, you want this to end, you want this cycle to end, you want the mentality to end, you want to bring in new, and you are bringing in new. You have some really beautiful cards coming in here. But as I say, with anything with tarot, the reason why we watch tarot and the reason why we look into tarot is because we can see the energy that's coming and we're always in control. So you can avoid this 10 of Swords. You can still walk away and have your dignity, or have someone walk away from you and have your dignity in how you handle the response, okay? The anguish that I see on this card, it's showing a wounded animal who's literally, you know, got 10 swords or 10 arrows in their body. But the anguish that I feel from this card and the energy is of someone that's playing the victim, okay? Yes, something's not been right here. Yes, a change needed to happen, and someone has stood up for themselves and they've made a change. As I mentioned before, for some Aries, a group of Aries that I'm speaking to, some of you have actually broken up physically and walked away. It could literally mean that you haven't spoken to anyone for a couple of weeks. There's been silence, radio silence, because you're taking time to heal and focus on what you actually want. And for some of you, you could be doing that within a relationship. So you haven't left the relationship, but you've been playing no communication games, you know, the silent warrior, just sitting there with your thoughts and going over things. And if you're not careful, Aries, you can fall prey to this card, this energy, okay? So there's a bit of a warning there. However this pertains to you, whether you're single, whether you're coupled, whether you're married, whatever it means, just be careful about how you handle this news, whether you're the one that's choosing to walk away and leave or have already done that, or whether it's happened to you. Always take the higher ground. Remember what I said at the beginning of the meeting. Even when someone has wronged you, thank them. Thank you for that lesson. Thank you for showing me another side of myself. Thank you for hurting me so that I understand what I will no longer tolerate. Thank you for, if you continue that, as I said, you're going to attract more love and release the negativity. If you stay in this fear-based pattern of nothing ever works out for me and always ends up wrong, then that's what you're going to attract back, okay? The good news is that I don't think, even though that energy is present, I don't think it stays with you for very long, okay? I think judgment comes in, and this judgment, this is very much a card of the divine, right? This is divinely guided. This is a major arcana. This comes in to let you see clearly, let you see things clearly. And it is a card of resurrection, of reconciliation, okay? There is an opportunity here for you to reconnect with this past love. And this could be someone that you've recently broken up with, or it could be someone that you broke up with multiples of 5, okay? So just kept being shown 5. So 5 weeks ago, 5 months ago, maybe even 5 years ago, and you've kind of been going backwards and forwards. You could have children. Yeah. But this is a card of reconciliation, okay? Judgment, if that's what you want. It's coupled with the card of the 6 of Wands and the 2 of Cups. This is incredible energy to have in a love reading, okay? These are 2 of my most favorite cards to get together. The 6 of Wands talks of victory. It talks of literally getting what you hope for. And they came out together. They flipped out together when I was shuffling. So really nice energy. It's like you go from this standing up for yourself, or even if you're the one that's hurt and you walk away, you do so, someone walks away from you, you do so with dignity, okay? And when you do so, if you're hoping for a reconciliation with someone where it's ended, they actually see you in a different light and they want to come back. They remember all the reasons why you're attractive to them. The 6 of Wands talks about victory, triumph after tribulation. It follows the 5 of Wands. And the 5 of Wands shows someone who's like been wounded in battle. It's not quite as bad as the 5 of Swords, but it's someone that has actually gone to battle, that's fought the battle, that's exhausted. Whereas the 6 of Wands is someone who the energy is already going past that. You've come out of that. You are strong. You are standing within your truth. You are now, I would say a good way to describe this card is understanding what you deserve. and understanding what you won't tolerate. Okay? And coupled with the Two of Cups, well, this is my soulmate card. This is the perfect couple, the two coming together. You know, with the Judgment card here, it's literally like you actually have a really heartfelt conversation. You see things clearly. The scales are balanced once again, and you come back together in union. Okay? But it's only through going through this process. And the reason why I say that is because the way the cards fell, you can't jump the process, right? I mean, we would all love to go to this Six of Wands, Two of Cups kind of energy, but you can't jump ahead. You can't, whatever separation is going on now, if you are in separation, or if you're in radio silence at home and you're just kind of like grunting each other when you walk out the door, just know that you need to go through this process. You need to have the space to get your thoughts clear about what you want, about what they need, to be able to come back and communicate effectively, to see each other's point of view, to be able to balance the scales again and have harmony and reciprocity in your relationship. But Aries, just repeating again, and I knew that this would come out, there is someone from your past returning. There is a past love, someone that you broke up with 5 weeks ago, 5 months ago, 5 years ago. Something in fives is really prevalent, and that may not be for everyone. But whatever this was, or however this energy plays out for you personally, you are going to get back together with someone from your past. You have the Six of Wands coupled with the Two of Cups and the card of Judgment after a break. Okay, Eight of Cups is emotionally detaching yourself from someone, emotionally moving on. So after a break that you've had, I do see victory coming. And this is at the very end of the month, coming into the 1st of June, okay? That I see this reconciliation coming for some of you. For others of you, it might be that the person comes back and they want to reconcile with you, but you ain't having it. You're done. Okay? It could be that too much has been said. You finally, as I said, with that energy of the full moon, have finally stood up for yourself, finally figured out what you want, and you're just like, I'm not having a bar, but I'm done. Sorry. No going back for me. And that in itself is victorious. And what that does is that shifts your energy again from one of being in kind of lack and frustration into opening up to a completely new love with someone else. Okay, for some of you. For those that want to reconcile with someone from your past, I very much see it here on the board. I see it very clearly. For those that don't, a reconciliation doesn't always mean that you come back together in union. It could just mean that you reconcile and actually see their point of view, but still agree to stay at a distance. Okay? Whatever way it plays out for you, Aries, whether there is a past love that returns that you reconnect with and you have a beautiful bond, or whether that person returns and after a bit of time you understand their point of view and you still agree to go your separate ways, it's going to work in your favor, okay? The Six of Wands is a beautiful card of victory, coupled with the Two of Cups. It's just a stunning combination. So amazing energy coming up for the next couple of weeks. I am going to draw for you an additional guidance card from John Holland. Thank you, universe. Please give me some additional messages for the sign of Aries. What does Aries need to know? You have the card of confront. Now, I'll always read the oracle messages from the book, but what I see very clearly is about, I've been talking a lot about self-worth in this video. It seems like it's important, but it's a lot of inner child work, right? So it's confronting the truth of who you are, of who you want to be, of what you will, of what you won't accept. And I'll read for you the messages I said I was going to. And let's see if it gives us any more clarity. Confront. Fear, question, explore, courage, illusion, and clarity. Introspection and clarity are important at this time. Feelings that have lay dormant are now coming to the surface. They've been part of your subconscious for some time. They're referred to as your shadow self and represent all your fears and delusions regarding matters of the heart. You may have concerns about examining these issues, but know that when an issue rises to the surface, it's ready to be faced and healed. Have the courage to acknowledge and confront these newly emerging feelings. Look at them from all sides and try to determine where they first came from. When and how were they planted in your subconscious? That's what I was talking about, inner childhood, right? It goes on to say, question the validity of these feelings. Often they were based on your childhood imagination and are no more than illusions. They're not appropriate for your adult relationships, and yet they persist in the current day. They're not based on reality, but they're powerful influences and can affect your relationships in major ways. They can even prevent a romantic relationship from manifesting. Wow, that's powerful. And it says, have the courage to explore your beliefs and misconceptions about love. You may find that these emerging feelings are based not only on your limited perceptions, but also on what you actually saw or experienced as a child. Know that whatever your reality was then, it does not have to be your reality now. You are no longer that person. Examine these feelings and gain clarity on who you are and what it is that is true for you regarding your relationships. It's beautiful, Aries. That really talks about what I was saying before about self-worth, standing up for what you actually want. It's like an important process for you. There's an affirmation that goes with this as well. It says, I examine my feelings about relationships and release what is no longer my truth. Absolutely gorgeous reading. Couldn't be any more stronger for you or clearer in that message. Standing up for your self-worth, making a judgment call, walking away where you need to, letting go of this fear-based energy, this Five of Swords that's holding you back. And in doing so, you're going to step into this stunning energy that's divinely guided, that's coming for you. Meet fear with love, meet judgment with love, and all will be well. All right, Aries, I hope you found this reading helpful. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will be back with you to do your new moon readings very soon. Thanks and take care.